After decades of neglect, the country's defence bases are finally getting some attention. A $2.5 billion program has been unveiled by the government to bring a vast number of buildings, houses, offices and wharves across the country up to basic functional standard. As Lloyd Burr reports, those living and working on the bases have persevered with leaks, flooding, mould and temporary fixes for too long.
Behind these big guns at the home of New Zealand's Navy are some big infrastructure problems.
It's far less than satisfactory. I think that our women and men of the Defence Force deserve much better.
When you have piles falling off a wharf where you want a ship to be able to be alongside that wharf being repaired, that's obviously relatively difficult.
Ministers and naval top brass unveiling the Defence Estate Portfolio Plan, which reveals the dire state of our defence base infrastructure, which doesn't enable a New Zealand Defence Force to prepare for all demands. It says tasks are compromised to the point of failure because of inadequate or poorly performing infrastructure. And worryingly, the condition of service critical assets is well below requirements.
We're a hardy, resilient lot, but at some time that sort of patience begins to run out.
And here's why. 14% of infrastructure, like buildings and facilities at bases, is beyond useful life. 70% of it will also expire within the next 20 years. And 70% of horizontal infrastructure, that's your pipes, utilities and your roads, have already expired. Some examples include 5 accommodation barracks at Papakura closed due to leaks and black mould. A broken hangar door at Whenuapai Air Base often traps aircraft inside. And bursting water mains at Devonport Naval Base affect resupplying ships.
The best time would have been 10 or 20 or 30 years ago, and the second best time is now.
This here is a sea safety training facility, and for a safety training facility, it's pretty unsafe. This whole area is on reclaimed land, and it's been sinking, the building has been moving, and it's prone to flooding. So when there's king tides, the water comes all the way up to around here. And if you have a look at this wall here, this MDF wall, she's not in a good state.
These are some photos showing what it looks like when in full flood. On average, it means the facility is out of action for 6 weeks every single year. Driving around the naval base, there is limited space, tents, temporary buildings that have been there for decades, and wrapped roofs to stop leaks.
Is it embarrassing that it's got to this state? That we've just let it get into such a state of disrepair?
I feel like this is the headline, because you've asked me that 3 times now, Lloyd. I would be embarrassed if we didn't sort it now, that we've got the opportunity, we've got the social licence, we've got the funding, we've got the plan. So I think we can avoid embarrassment now by moving forward in a way that our personnel deserve and respect.
That way forward is a 15-year, $2.5 billion upgrade program to bring all the base infrastructure up to a decent standard.
The real difference in the long run as we start seeing runs being scored on the board with the new facilities will be just that uplift in morale.
As for why it's taken this long and been ignored for 3 decades.
In previous times it may have been considered that we lived in a benign strategic environment. Whether or not that was true at the time that those remarks were made, it is certainly not true in 2025.
Meaning our soldiers must have the facilities to handle the heat.